From weird McDonald's Happy Meal commercials to sending gun soldiers to hell, here's one useless fact for every Shadow the Hedgehog game. Shadow Grinder, not to be confused with the app Grindr, is one of several Shadow LCD games released in McDonald's Happy Meals back in 2003. The game has you playing as Shadow as you grind down the streets of Radical Highway from Sonic Adventure 2. The weird thing is that the grind rails you use in this game don't actually exist in Radical Highway, but they're taken from City Escape. Here's a side-by-side comparison so you can see how similar these two are. The only spots you can grind on in Radical Highway are the barrier rails on the large Golden Gate Bridge inspired structures, or these rails that sit atop some of these barricades. Strangely, you can only grind on the ones that have a single rail across the top of them. The ones with two rails on them act just like the ground, allowing you to walk on top of them. Another weird thing is that every time Shadow lands on a rail in Shadow Grinder, it actually doubles in length, even if the rail is just a single segment. Similar to Shadow Grinder, Shadow Hockey is an LCD game that was distributed by McDonald's as a Happy Meal toy back in 2004. The game sees you playing as Shadow on skates while you try and score goals against Omega. The game art relates to this as it has Shadow on the right of the toy, while Omega is on the left striking a pose that looks similar to someone who'd be trying to stop a goal from being scored in hockey. Apparently there was also a rare silver variant released in Happy Meals. It plays exactly the same as the regular version, but instead of having Shadow or Omega on the toy, it's completely silver and extremely shiny, which means if you got the rare version as a kid, you basically got a Shadow game without Shadow being on the cover art. Shadow Basketball was also an LCD toy that was distributed by McDonald's as a Happy Meal toy back in 2004. I'm starting to sense a pattern here. The game revolves around you playing as Shadow trying to score baskets on Omega. It's essentially just the same as Shadow Hockey, except it has a basketball aesthetic to it instead of a hockey one. In Pakistan, McDonald's ran a Sonic Heroes Happy Meal commercial featuring different Sonic characters doing what they do in the respective LCD games. We see Sonic skateboarding for the game Sonic Skateboard, Tails playing soccer for Tails Soccer, and so on. Well, in the Shadow Basketball segment of the commercial, we see Shadow dribbling a basketball and then dunking it. But if you look closely, Shadow's actually missing the white puff of fur on his chest. It's honestly not that surprising seeing as Rouge looks like my sleep paralysis demon, but I digress. Also, might I add, Shadow never actually dribbles or dunks in the game. All he does is shoots baskets, which this commercial doesn't show off whatsoever. Now, before we get back to the useless facts, if you're enjoying the video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I plan on making more useless fact videos in the future, and I would hate for you to miss out on them. And if you want something fun on the side, check out FiGGYZ. They're little magnetic figures of Sonic characters and other pop culture characters as well. Stick them on your fridge, your car, or the tiny magnetic plate they come with. Grab one with my code Llennox5 for 5% off, link in the description. Alright, let's get back to these useless facts. Shadow XS is a browser game released on the 4Kids TV website back in 2005 to promote Sonic X. It's a sequel of sorts to Sonic XS, except it replaces Sonic with Shadow and makes everything red to show off how edgy and epic Shadow is. The weird thing is that the instruction screen for the game actually gets several things wrong. First, it refers to the rings of the game as coins, even though Sonic has never really collected coins in any of his games before. It also claims that Amy and Sonic XS are chasing after you, which never actually happens in the game. Alright, now we're at what a lot of you thought I was going to start with, Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog, developed by Sonic Team in 2005, features you playing as Shadow, either killing good guys, killing bad guys, or killing Eggman.
Goodbye, Doctor.
In this game, if you kill a black armed soldier, they fall to the ground and disappear. However, if you do the same to the gun soldiers, they'll just fall to the ground and ask to be spared. We've all seen this happen in games since we wouldn't want Shadow to actually be killing humans in a children's game, but what happens if you try to push the gun soldiers off the edge? Normally none of them stand near pits so you can't easily try this, but if you pick up a heal cannon, knock one down, and revive them, you can push them around wherever you want. If you then try to push them down or homing attack them so they'd fall into the void, they'll just hit an invisible wall and land safely on the ground. It's kind of fitting actually. The developers went out of their way to make sure you don't go out of your way to send these gun soldiers to hell. Hey, editing Llennox here. So for that specific clip, I was trying to push the gun soldier into that pit, but there seems to be some sort of invisible lip on it, so you can't just run right off the edge. You can, however, jump into it, just not run into it. I did, however, test this in another level that has a ledge you can walk off of, and you can't push the gun soldiers anywhere near that ledge. I also learned that you can't push them up inclines. Just wanted to share that with you all so I don't get any comments about it. It's just like Sonic Team to make sure all the little details of the games are there, but then the big picture things like, you know, making the game fun to play are just completely avoided. Shadow the Hedgehog Flash, developed by 13.4, is a browser game created to promote the then upcoming Shadow the Hedgehog game. The game features 2 acts. The first sees Shadow running through a 2D recreation of Westopolis, mowing down black arms and gun soldiers alike. The second has Shadow riding on his Dark Rider, making his way down the streets of Westopolis while avoiding obstacles and killing enemies. Well, in this game, Shadow only has one death animation. It sees him clenching his chest like he just got shot, then dramatically falling over, putting his arms into the air before falling to the ground. Well, this plays every time you die, so even if you decide you want to visit Satan, once you hit the bottom of the screen, Shadow gets all dramatic and plays this dying animation. Shadow Shoot is a mobile phone game that Sega offered as a part of the Sega Cafe game service released back in 2006. It features Shadow running and shooting his way down long stretches of levels that each have their own zone name. Some of these include Diamond Highway Zone, Periodot Tunnel Zone, Jadet Forest Zone, and several others. Also, as I'm reading the script, I'm just now realizing that they're all minerals like diamond, peridot, jadeite. I don't remember the rest of them off the top of my screen, but they're probably also all minerals like that, and I think that's cool. Also, before getting to the useless fact of the game, let me just say the music in this game is so good. I mean, just take a listen to these real quick. Anyways, sorry, getting back on track here, most of Shadow's sprites in this game are taken straight from Sonic Battle. The only ones that don't seem to be from Sonic Battle are when he's holding a gun, which makes sense since he never holds a gun in Sonic Battle, and when he's curled up into a ball. What's weird about the ball animation though is that it never actually rotates 360 degrees. If you watch the red highlights on his quills, or I guess these could also be his shoes, they just move back and forth instead of spinning all the way around. I feel like if they wanted to mimic real rotations, they should have had the red highlights spin all the way around, but that's just what I think. Released in 2024, Sonic X Shadow Generation sees each hedgehog running throughout white space to save the day. While Sonic runs through his past in white space to stop the Time Eater, Shadow runs through his own past and future to stop Black Doom from... Actually wait, what does Black Doom do in this game? I know he returns, which isn't a good thing, but what does he actually do to warrant stopping? I mean, he tries to take over Shadow or something like that, but regardless, I'm getting off topic. In Shadow Generations, Shadow faces off against the Bio-Lizard, Metal Overlord, Mephiles, and Devil Doom, who then transforms into Neo Devil Doom. While all of the locations that the boss fights take place in are an alliteration aside from Neo Devil Doom. You fight the Bio-Lizard in Cannon's Core, you fight Metal Overlord in the ruins of Final Fortress, you fight Mephiles in Dusty Desert, and then the Devil Doom fight you fight in the Doom Zone or Radical Highway, whatever suits you really. And that's a useless fact for every Shadow the Hedgehog game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more useless videos. If you want to go above and beyond, you can become a channel member, which gets your name in the description of future videos and your name up on this canvas in my office. And hey, if you know a useless fact I missed, or if I got something wrong, or there's a game I missed, let me know in the comments down below. If there's another series you want to see me talk about, let me know down in the comments as well. With that all being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.